The future of portable gaming is here, and it's more powerful than ever. In this video, we're diving deep into the realm of on-the-go entertainment with the top 5 best handheld gaming consoles of 2025. We'll be dissecting performance, display quality, game libraries, and the innovative features that are redefining what's possible in the palm of your hand. Whether you're a seasoned gamer or a casual player, these consoles are set to revolutionize your gaming experience. Number 5. Ayaneo Flip DS. The Ayaneo Flip DS is the best compact handheld gaming PC in part because it shows there's more to portability than simply being small. It is small, without a doubt, but what also makes it incredibly portable is that it's easy to carry around with less risk of damaging the screen or controls. That's because it's a dual screener, thus the DS, just like the Nintendo DS, that closes shut. And while this dual screen design makes it easily portable, it also makes it just about the most useful, easily navigable handheld I've tried. While its 7-inch, 120Hz, 1080p upper screen, which is surprisingly big for such a small handheld, works its magic reproducing rendered game frames in pleasing fashion, the dinkier 3.5-inch lower screen is freed up to be used as a keyboard, touchpad, or whatever you like. It's particularly useful to use it for the Ayaneo Space System application to configure and keep an eye on how your handheld's chugging along. And chug along it does, just as much as any other reasonable handheld these days, anyway, thanks to its Ryzen 7 8840U APU with RDNA 3 graphics. You're getting the standard handheld gaming PC performance here, nothing to write home about, but it holds its own against all the mainstream options and is plenty for most handheld gaming needs. Battery life is decent, too, although you'll get more life out of something like the ROG Ally X. The main reason to opt for the Flip DS, though, is for that DS functionality. We're not just talking when in-game, either. It makes Windows navigation so much easier, too, whether you're using the smaller screen as a trackpad, a keyboard for easily entering passwords, or a more traditional second screen to house applications you need visible while tootling around the desktop on the top screen. Navigation and ease of use really is the name of the game, here. It even has a little nubbin that you rub to move the mouse in any respective direction and click to press LMB. Oh, plus the ability to slow or speed up your cursor movement with left and right trigger modifiers. It's surprisingly simple to get used to all these different navigation methods and combine them for ultimate ease of use. The Ayaneo Flip DS demonstrates the exact kind of innovation that's needed in the handheld market. It's not all about churning out more frames per second. Sometimes it's nice to have substantial upgrades in other ways, such as navigation functionality, compactness, and portability. The Flip DS delivers on all these fronts. Number 4. Lenovo Legion Go. It's a good-looking device, the Legion Go, and a lot of that is due to that gigantic screen. So much so, in fact, that it takes our top pick for the best big-screen handheld gaming PC. But don't be fooled by the shiny pixels, as beyond that great display lies a powerful and rather interesting handheld PC. For a start, it's big. Surprisingly big, and even makes the Steam Deck look like it's been on a diet. However, it has some features that account for that weight and substantial size, chief among them being the addition of 2 detachable controllers, similar to the Nintendo Switch. They might be a little clunky to use for certain games, but they give this handheld the distinct advantage of, again, like the Switch, standing on its rear kickstand so you can play with the detached controllers on a table. Perhaps it's not as comfortable as an all-in-one compared to some of the options here, but that party trick sets it very much apart from the crowd. The good news doesn't stop there either. It's powered by the same AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme as the Asus ROG Ally X, which makes it a great performer, and while like many gaming handhelds, it's indie games that show it off at its best, it's still got the grunt to take on something like Baldur's Gate 3 on the go with very little issue. One thing to note is the screen resolution. While it's big, bright and fast, that 2560 by 1600 resolution is a bit too much for the hardware inside, and you'll likely want to drop down to something more sensible like 1920 by 1200 to really make the most of your experience without significant frame drops. If you don't need such a dominant display, the little Ayaneo Air 1S might be more up your street, for something you can just about squeeze in a large pocket. You could try with the Legion Go, but I dread to think of what sort of pockets you'd need to accommodate such a large and in-charge machine. Price-wise though, you're really getting a lot for your money here. With the 512GB model coming in around the $700 mark, it's well placed given the huge screen on offer and the addition of those useful controllers. As Lenovo's first go at a gaming handheld, this is quite an impressive effort, and providing you're prepared to turn the resolution down, you'll still be enjoying a great experience on a large enough screen to really pull you into the action, even if the handheld aspect is perhaps a little chunkier than we'd like. Number 3. MSI Claw 8 AI Plus. The MSI Claw 8 AI Plus is the best high-end handheld gaming PC because it's incredibly powerful, yet somehow manages to keep its price tag relatively low compared to the other high-end competition. You might not be getting the absolute fastest handheld on the market, but it's damn close and costs far less than others of its ilk, plus it has a gloriously large 8-inch screen to boot. Apart from its large screen, what you're getting with this handheld is some of the latest, most powerful and efficient processing hardware on the market, thanks to its Intel Core Uitra 7258V processor with integrated Arc 140V GPU. This processor is based on Intel's new Lunar Lake architecture, which we've been excited about ever since it was unveiled in June 2024. Most handhelds on the market have previous gen internals which aren't bad but are clearly outshined by the likes of the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus' current gen might. This handheld beats others such as the ROG Ally X in gaming performance pretty much across the board, not by leaps and bounds, but very consistently. On the other side of the field we have current-gen AMD Strix Point processors, like the one found in the 1X Player 1X Fly F1 Pro, which also performs incredibly well. But the F1 Pro is significantly more expensive than the Claw 8 AI Plus, making the Intel-based device much better value for a high-end handheld. Yes, the F1 Pro might have better multi-threaded CPU performance, but who's using a handheld for multi-threaded productivity tasks anyway? The generational improvements aren't all on the horsepower front either, as the Claw 8 AI Plus has seriously stellar battery life, matching the ROG Ally X in achieving over 2 hours of game time in a PCMark 10 test. This is one area other than price where the Claw 8 AI Plus beats the F1 Pro, too, by far, in fact. Compared to the original MSI Claw, this one looks and feels the high-end part, as well. It's nice and weighty and feels great to use. It might not be quite as premium feeling as the best handheld overall, the ROG Ally X, but hey, there has to be some give to achieve such a low price for such cracking performance. The Claw 8 AI Plus gives you the latest powerful and efficient hardware packed into a decent chassis with a large screen, not quite as big as the Legion Go's panel, but still pretty big. Given MSI is charging a reasonable price for all that power combined with that luscious display, the Claw 8 AI Plus definitively the best high-end handheld gaming PC on the market right now. Number 2. Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is the best budget handheld gaming PC by something of a country mile. It's the sort of thing that I could only dream of as a child, a compact, cheap gaming PC that can play most of my games and slip inside a backpack. It would have hands down bested playing on the fold-away screen atop my GameCube running off a 12V cigarette lighter in the back of my dad's car, though I have fond memories of that. In a way, the Steam Deck captures some of that retro gaming feel. It lets you find new time to play games. I've smashed through many more games with the Steam Deck than I ever would have relying solely on my desktop. That's true of many of these handhelds, but the Steam Deck is a very sleek experience. That's because Valve has commissioned its own Linux OS, SteamOS, to run on the device, and it's built from the ground up for gaming. It plays best with Steam games, but I've loaded the Heroic Games launcher on it to boot into Epic and GOG games with ease, too. Performance is measured by playability on the deck, not so much as we might measure it on desktop by how many frames per second you can get. It's really not a powerful device, with fewer older CUs compared to some handhelds today, but that's alright as it's only pushing an 800p screen. Generally, it gets by just fine in modern games, but you might find you primarily see it as an indie game machine. That's how I use my Steam Deck anyway. It's allowed me to find the time to play so many indie and wholesome games I'd never normally get space to play on my desktop PC. Though the deck is also great for game streaming if you have a GeForce Now subscription or something similar. That's how I play most demanding games on the device, rather than rendering them locally. As a value proposition, there's really no beating the Steam Deck. The other handhelds I've been using have it beat in performance. There are some that deliver frame rates and resolutions far in excess of the Steam Deck, but none anywhere near as affordable. That's the deck's best feature, it's so much cheaper than any of the other handhelds we've tested. While it doesn't have the sheer performance of the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus, nor the big screen and trick controls of the Lenovo Legion Go, it's still got plenty of portable punch combined with a decent display, for less cash. If you like the look and feel of the Steam Deck but want a better screen and battery life, the OLED Steam Deck is also super solid, though it pushes this out of the budget section and closer to our other recommendations. At this price range, you may be better off with the Ally X, but it's still a decent option. Also, if something breaks, you can buy an official part and replace it yourself with relative ease. I have 2 videos on how to swap out the Steam Deck's SSD and how to swap out the Steam Deck's thumbsticks, if you're interested. That's another reason why it's the best cheap handheld gaming PC, then, it's pretty inexpensive to maintain. Number 1. Asus ROG Ally X. The best all-round handheld gaming PC is the Asus ROG Ally X, due to its near-perfect blend of performance, comfort, and portability. Asus' first attempt, the original ROG Ally, is a great gaming device but it has many flaws. The battery life is poor, it's not very comfortable to hold for long, and the hardware overheats too easily. All of that has been fixed in the Ally X, but the whole package is now much improved. Gone are the small battery and SSD, replaced by a huge 80Wh set of cells and a 1TB PCIe 4.0 M.2 drive as standard. The amount of RAM has been increased from 16 to 24 GB of LPDDR5-6400, which helps games to run smoother. Asus has tweaked the cooling system to prevent components from bouncing off thermal limits, and along with the extra memory, it performs a little faster, even though it has the same processor and identical clock speeds. The extra long battery life would be for nothing if it wasn't nice to hold for long periods, but Asus has smoothed off all the edges and it fits nicely in your hands now. It is a little heavier, but the additional bulk isn't noticeable, unlike the better thumbsticks, and shoulder and back buttons, which are all more positive in action. There are multiple little updates and changes across the board. The old ROG XG mobile port, for attaching an external GPU, has been swapped for a full-speed USB 4 port, which makes it much easier to add peripherals. The 1TB SSD is now the PC standard M.2 2280 size, meaning replacements and upgrades are cheaper, though require a little bit of tech know-how. Even things like Asus Armoury Crate software and the power limits have all been improved, making the ROG Ally X a more capable and more engaging handheld gaming PC. It still runs Windows 11, of course, so it doesn't have the Steam Deck's refined software ecosystem, but if you can put up with that, then you're in for a treat. The Asus ROG Ally X is the new bar for other handheld gaming PCs to reach, and it will be interesting to see how the competition responds. You will find all the links of these products in the description below. Comment below and tell us which handheld gaming console you were considering. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and share with your friends, and if you are new to the channel then subscribe and hit the bell icon for future updates.